Every city has them.
It sounded like a young girl giggling.
I felt a cold breeze around my arm, and then I felt this.
Ghost stories. Tampa is no exception. And where best to hunt some down in the oldest place in the Bay Area.
Ybor has a rich history that doesn't exclude deaths, murders, or fatal accidents, which means one thing: lots of ghost stories.
To fill me in on all the haunted happenings around here, enter Chrissy
This is one of the ghost investigating equipment that we use.
of Ghost Party Haunted Tours, specializing in all things spooky in Ybor. Our first stop in our pursuit of the paranormal, one of Ybor's most recognizable and famous landmarks, the Cuban Club. Dating back to the mid-20th century, this place was the social and entertainment hub of the Cuban community, drawing thousands of immigrants who came back year after year. Today, legend has it a few of those people never left. One such person who's taken up permanent residence is a young boy who years ago made the fatal mistake of going for a swim in the community pool.
This is the area where supposedly the little boy, 4, 5, 6, we're not quite sure what the age is, but supposedly he died and by falling in the pool. And this is who seems to come up the most when we do a paranormal investigation.
Current workers and guests say they've heard moans and muffled crying coming from the basement at all different hours of the day.
People have told me that they've been touched before on their pant legs, and all the employees there just say they don't like to be left there alone at night. Down here is the creepiest so far.
Yet the boy has yet to reveal himself to anyone. Instead, when it comes to ghoulish visions, Chrissy says that job is reserved for a ghost of a different story. Known by the locals as the Wailing Woman, she is rumored to be the mother of a club president shot during a heated political debate there. While both her and her son are long gone, her anguish and grief remain. She's been spotted walking the halls and stairwells late at night, still crying and searching for the child she lost. Leaving the young boy and mother behind, we head over to our next stop.
The Italian Club on the corner of 7th and Central Ybor today is a place where families come to gather and celebrate their Italian heritage. But that hasn't always been the case. Let's catch up with Chrissy and see what the real story is behind the Italian Club.
Chrissy says the Italian Club is one of the most haunted places in Ybor. Back in the day, hundreds packed the basement bar on a nightly basis. It was the place to see and be seen for Italian mobsters. It was also the scene of hundreds of gruesome murders.
A lot of the crazy action you said that happened way back when happened right outside here on the streets, right?
Yes, that's correct. In Ybor City during the 1920s all the way to the 1950s, this was a real hub or a mecca for mobsters in Ybor City. And we've been told on 7th and 8th Avenue alone, there have been over 36 deaths counted to mobster activity.
A lot of angry mobsters still linger here, their business unfinished. Some paranormal experiences and claims at the club include disembodied voices, unexplained sounds, cold spots, ghost sightings, a sensation of being touched, and unexplained movements. That's hardly where the tales end here. The stories about the activity in the ladies' room on the second floor, just outside the theater, will make your spine tingle. Literally. The spirit of a young girl lingers here, and extreme cold spots have been felt both inside and outside the bathroom.
I've been in here at all hours, so 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, this, that, whatever.
The janitor of the club said he's heard the little girl's laughter late at night.
It sounded like a young girl giggling, like a young, just ha ha ha. And I thought, well, that's kind of strange, so I walked out into the lobby to see if there was somebody around, and there was nobody. Looked down into the second floor to see if the church people had arrived. They weren't here, because they normally come in around 6.
Finally, we head over to the Don Vicente Inn, From the centerpieces to the ceiling to the ravishing stairwells, this inn is especially luxurious and spectacular in its decor and atmosphere. But deep down, the picture isn't as pretty. Legend has it that at the turn of the century, the inn was better known as the Gonzalez Clinic.
It has been a clinic or a hospital up until about 15, 20 years ago. So it's seen a lot of death and sickness, and people have passed away here at the building.
Many of which were innocent victims. You see, this building was once the home to Avellano, a wonderfully gifted doctor who had a deep, dark secret. His schizophrenic son, Avellano Jr. Jr. performed fatal experiments on young female victims and, with the help of a nurse, disposed of the bodies in what used to be the incinerator for the clinic in the basement. Lurking these halls, the nurse can be spotted.
The owners have actually seen full-bodied apparitions. That is supposed to be the holy grail of ghost hunting, is when you actually see a ghost. And the owner has actually seen a Spanish woman in the basement.
But that's not all.
It was here, right at the top of the stairs, that one guest say they saw a ghost. After their friend took a picture of them getting ready to descend the stairs, and after it was developed, they saw a ghost right in that mirror.
This is that very picture.
We have had people that have been in our paranormal group, in Ghost Party Paranormal, have been touched in the basement, have seen white mist shadows. We have caught a lot of what they call in the ghost hunting field EVPs, or electric voice phenomena, on our recorder, where we've gotten responses to questions in an EVP session or in a question and answer session. So they've been direct answers to our questions.
And these are some of those recordings.
Think anybody come down here? It's just storage?
No, yeah, they come down here. The housekeeper does her laundry right behind here. She's down here all the time. And then people have their parties down here. Little parties. Little parties.
Convincing me it's a good idea to experience it all for myself, Chrissy leads the way. And we enter the basement equipped with a briefcase worth of the tools necessary to capture any afterlife activity. These include an EMF detector that lets you know if there are any electric charges in the air.
So if you're close to a light or a plug, you would know that there's some energy in the air. But if you're not anywhere near a plug or a light fixture or a cell phone and they go off, in the paranormal field, we think that that's where spirit might be manifesting.
A fancy flashlight.
What you're trying to do is you're trying to saturate a dark corner with as many little lights as you can. So if you're in a big location, here we're not as big, but if we're in a big cigar factory and you have, a long hallway that's, 1,000 square feet, you can tell if anything passes by there.
Pay very special attention to the green dots and the shadow passing over them. That's what a real-life ghost encounter would be like.
And then we have our thermal detector. Now we have to have a flashlight to see it really well, but it tests the temperature. And a lot of our equipment is really just technical equipment, like air conditioner repairmen use this.
Right.
And you can test the air with it. So if you have just press the button, and you're going to do what they call a sweep of the room, and sweep it and across and see if you come across anything. Now, of course, if you come across a person, it's going to get really hot, see? But if you come across something colder, that's when they say that you might, again, come across something in the spirit activity.
And then, in the midst of packing it up for the day, the unexpected happens.
I felt a cold breeze around my arm, and then I felt this.
Oh my God.
So it happens when you're not expecting it at all. And it happens very often here. So I would suggest if anybody's looking for a ghost hunting experience to book a room here.
Chrissy swears she really felt the sensation. I was just glad it wasn't me.
So there you have it. We visited some of the scariest places Tampa has to offer and even witnessed a real-life ghost encounter. But believe me, there are still plenty of frights to find in this city.